Hi everyone, this is Darius Sulam from Inside Scientific, the online environment for life science webinars, virtual events, interviews, and educational content that helps you do your best work. Our Real Science sessions focus on connecting with the researchers, educators, and industry professionals from all walks of life that make scientific discovery and innovation possible. We talk about their work, their passions, their pitfalls, why they got into science in the first place, and where the road lies ahead. Today, I'm talking with Tanishq Vaidya, a junior at University of California, Davis. Tanishq recently was one of 10 students who was awarded the Scientist.com STEM Research NIL Award for promising undergraduate researchers. Scientist.com's goal is to empower and connect scientists worldwide and accelerate scientific discovery. Their digital research platform combines sophisticated AI technology with white-glove research concierge support to enable scientists to run more innovative experiments in less time and at lower cost. Scientist.com operates private enterprise marketplaces for most of the world's major pharmaceutical companies, over 100 biotechnology companies, and the U.S. National Institutes of Health. This award is part of Scientist.com's commitment to support and mentor students who are at the beginnings of their education and careers in STEM. In addition to a grant of $5,000 each, the 10 award winners are collaborating with Scientist.com as brand ambassadors. All right, Tanishq, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me today.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me here. I really wanted to thank Scientist.com for having me on this podcast and for their generous support of my work. It really means a lot to have such an established company support undergraduate researchers.
Absolutely. And let's jump right into the first question then. Where did you grow up? Have you always been interested in the sciences? And if not, what sparked your interest?
Yeah, so I mainly grew up in Fremont, California, which is a town in the California Bay Area, not far from San Jose. I was there pretty much until I began college, after which me and my family moved to Sacramento, California, where we are now. In terms of my interest in science, I would say I've always had an inquisitive mind and loved asking questions in all my classes. I was always the one to have my hand raised, wanting to know more about any topic that we were covering. So I would say that I kind of had a mind geared towards the sciences, but I wasn't always specifically looking for the hard sciences. I was kind of generally interested in all topics that we were covering, from history, chemistry, biographies of people, pretty much anything. However, as I progressed in my early schoolings, I kind of participated in a variety of competitions and science labs, science fairs, science Olympiad, all of these programs, where I kind of learned that the hard sciences were where I could really find where I could apply my passions and my natural inclination. So I followed that path.
All right, fantastic. So where are you currently studying? What is your major? And can you tell us a little bit about the research that you're currently conducting?
Yeah, for sure. So I'm currently studying at the University of California, Davis, and I'm in the neurobiology, physiology, and behavior major. This major is a kind of combination of a variety of biological sciences, primarily focused on the neurosciences, but it's a kind of interdisciplinary major where it combines a lot of topics from biology, from psychology, chemistry, all of the sciences kind of come together to give us a better, a comprehensive understanding of neuroscience. In terms of the research that I'm currently conducting, I'm working in the lab of Dr. Aldrin Gomes in the Department of NPB. And the lab as a whole primarily focuses on cardiovascular muscle physiology and is specifically interested in topics like protein degradation, specifically the ubiquitin proteasome protein degradation system, which is a kind of intracellular pathway. And then within this overall purpose, my personal work is currently focused on trying to understand the effects of prolonged ibuprofen use on the systemic health of mice, specifically looking into the ways that prolonged ibuprofen use could contribute to increased inflammation, and these markers or damaging byproducts called reactive oxygen species, which are essentially chemical byproducts from ibuprofen use. And I'm also trying to look at how I'm trying to understand various pharmacological methods where we could prevent the generation of reactive oxygen species for safer ibuprofen use.
All right, fantastic. So that research definitely sounds relevant. Ibuprofen is something that people often are always using as soon as they feel the slightest headache. And of course, there are certainly risks to any form of medication that people are using over the counter, especially. So you've mentioned before that your career aspirations lie in the medical field, that you plan on continuing to conduct groundbreaking research as well. So can you tell us a little bit more about your future career goals?
Yeah, so from a young age, I was kind of always fascinated by the human body and how it worked. I've always had a lot of doctors and engineers in my family background, so I always was really interested in talking with them about the cases that they were managing and and understanding the work that they were conducting. So I was always really interested in medicine and the human body. And then as I progressed in my educational career, I kind of took opportunities to further explore that interest. And I really saw that, becoming a physician would satisfy my curiosities. And it was the perfect blend of like puzzle solving combined with having that human connection with patients. However, at the same time, while I did all these opportunities that would bring me closer to my goal of becoming a physician, I also started doing research. And I really kind of saw how, especially now in the modern medical field, the roles of like researchers and physicians are kind of merging together because there's so much groundbreaking research occurring in hospitals and occurring in clinics, everything from basic wet lab research to clinical research. And so I definitely saw that I wanted to, beyond just caring for patients, I wanted to take an active part in progressing medical education and the medical field. And so I knew that I wanted to be a physician researcher, kind of combining those two roles.
So who was or is the greatest influence on your career, your academic journey thus far? Do you have a specific mentor that has played a significant role?
Yeah, great question. So I didn't specifically have a direct mentor or guide in my early career who kind of would like give me opportunities or guide my thinking in any sort of way. I kind of just relied on the support of the connections that I had around me, especially my parents, who were super supportive of my interests and allowed me to explore a variety of topics to kind of guide myself into finding my passions. My other family members, as I said, were also super influential. Specifically, as I mentioned, I had a lot of engineers and doctors in my families with whom I could look up to and kind of discuss my scientific curiosities, kind of grow my scientific thinking. And then finally, my friends at the time were really important as well. I was lucky enough to have high achieving friends who we kind of pushed each other and motivated each other to push past our boundaries. And so that really helped me achieve greater success than what I thought of myself at the time. Coming into college, I would definitely say my PI, Dr. Aldrin Gomes, has been a huge mentor. He's always guiding me towards opportunities that I could pursue, giving me advice on my future plans. He was actually really influential in me gaining the NIL scholarship as well. So I would say Dr. Gomes has played a huge hand in my post-college growth.
Fantastic. So many of the people that we have on this show, not just the students who have won the award, but also the researchers with established careers who have spoken on the show, always harken back to the days where their parents or their friends played that really key monumental role in getting them to where they are today. So it's really great that you as well have that, and really interesting that you mentioned a good friend group, because not necessarily everyone has that same opportunity, and you clearly had that, which pushed you in the right direction, which is amazing. So, what would you say are some of the toughest challenges balancing being a full-time student, a researcher, and pursuing a career in the medical field?
Yeah, definitely. So it's always really great that I get to partake in all of these wonderful opportunities and all of these various programs, but it definitely can be a challenge at times to manage all of their deadlines and requirements. So particularly, I would say time management is a big challenge that I have to contend with. Especially because all of these extracurriculars have deadlines and submissions that go on at the same time. I myself am so UC Davis operates on a quarter system, which is basically 10 weeks. So everything kind of descends on at the same time, which means that time management skills like goal setting and project planning become really important. And so sometimes if I'm not always on top of things at the time, things tend to slip past me. But I try to find avenues where I can mitigate that, and I can always be meeting all those deadlines. At the same time, connecting with my loved ones can be a little bit of a challenge, especially because of the deadlines. Things can get busy, but always finding support. Using their support and guidance becomes really important during those times, and finding the time to speak with the people that I love most, and forming those connections is important. Beyond the time management aspect, I would say that at times it can get easy to lose the motivation that I have for certain things, just because there's so much going on and it all seems kind of so far away. But at those times, it becomes really important to recenter myself and focus on why I'm trying to pursue those goals, so that I can kind of recenter myself and find that passion.
Awesome. So the last question that I have for you today: do you have any advice for younger students interested in getting into research but might be intimidated or not know where to begin?
Yeah, definitely. So firstly, I just wanted to say I totally understand why first-time researchers are often worried. I myself was really apprehensive getting into research at the start. It can sound intimidating, especially because it's often portrayed as this kind of sterile, really difficult process where only traditionally smart people are able to be successful. But I would say that having overcome this initial fear and really benefited from it, I would say that it's not as scary as it sounds. And it really, teamwork and collaboration are such big portions of the scientific environment that it's really, the connections are often the most important parts that drive a project's success. I would also say that if young researchers are kind of apprehensive about the bench work and working with chemicals and things like that, I would encourage them to explore the many other kinds of research that go on, like archival research, clinical research, and so forth, where they can kind of dip their toes in the scientific process, kind of understanding the mindset of a scientist, and then kind of work towards wet lab research once they're more comfortable with that aspect. Great research doesn't have to come from test tubes. It can come from books and the library. And then finally, in terms of finding research opportunities, I would just tell young scientists to talk to as many people as they can about their interests. Teachers, family members, friends, anyone can be a great resource in finding scientific research, because there's so many people conducting all kinds of research that even if the person that they directly talk to doesn't conduct research, they can always connect them with somebody that is. And so just talking with people and finding those connections is really important. I myself found my first research program through just talking with a tutor that I had at the time. So I would say just talk with as many people as you can about your interests, and I'm sure that you'll be able to find something.
Thank you so much for your time, Tanishq, and your thoughts. It was a real pleasure to have you here, and best of luck in all of your future endeavors.
Thank you so much for having me again.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Real Science and that you'll tune in to future episodes where scientists and students just like you answer questions about their life, their work, and share insights into what it's like to be doing real science. Don't forget to subscribe.